watching Thrifty Kaniffy.
Hello everyone and welcome to Thrifty Kaniffy. Well, today we're going to be taking a look at a Rough Ryder knife. This one from their 30th anniversary series. Comes in this sleeve. You get the cowboy logo there, the rifle up in the air, back-to-back R logo. You'll also see this shield repeated on the knife itself. That's the actual shield. And then we have the RI spelling on Rough Ryder. You always have to wonder which way they're going to spell it. Gone with the RI spelling this time around. We're looking at model number RR2628. Now, this is the teardrop jack 30th anniversary with the gunstock bone handles. Here's a look at the tin really quickly. Just kind of give you guys an idea of what the 30th anniversary is all about here. The Rough Ryder guys, your little banner with the 1994 to 2024 for the 30th anniversary, back-to-back R with a little diamond in the middle. On the back, you have a little blurb here that says, for 30 years, the Rough Ryder brand has followed the tradition of Teddy Roosevelt. We handpick the very best materials from every corner of the world in order to make the very best product. Anything less just wouldn't be a Rough Ryder. And you also see this little logo here etched on the main blade, well, the only blade. And inside the tin, it's just foam cut out. Nothing special to see inside there. And here's the knife we're looking at. Again, the teardrop jack, gunstock bone handles. We have a closed length right at 3 3/4 inches. Right in that Goldilocks zone for me. Beautiful gunstock bone. That checkering gives you lots and lots of grip without being too aggressive. Pins are well ground down. These are all nickel silver pins, and they feel fine across the fingertip. You can see our transitions to the bolster here. This cap bolster on the back, the butt end with the single thread, and some nice color transition from that darker brown into the lighter brown. But looks like it's pretty darn smooth. Now, keep in mind, we're evaluating a $20 knife. So any imperfections you might see, you might just kind of evaluate it on that basis. All right, we got some more really good transitions to the front bolster there. Again, some nice threading. And these bolsters are all nickel silver along with that shield. I guess you could call it a shield. SU1 as a shield. You get the back-to-back R logo there with the diamond in between. That's really well done. Seems like that's stamped in there really well. Shield sits in there nice and snug. Really can't feel it. Very smooth transition there. So that's all been well done, especially with such a, rough texture to get that shield in there nicely. That works. You can see we've got a matte strike crescent moon pull and some swedging on the blade. Swedging starts right where the nail nick begins. Never been a massive fan of the way they do that. I would prefer it start here. That way you have more depth to the nail nick, but it is what it is. And if we look at our centering, you can see it's a little off to the left. So not perfectly straight. Plus, I don't believe they got the swedging just exactly straight. It almost looks, well, it makes the knife appear bent when it's in there, but I think it's just more of an optical illusion because the swedging isn't perfectly even on both sides as it comes to the tip. But otherwise, pretty good. You got brass liners there. No major gaps or anything on the back. I mean, it's just not like super tight right here. Gets a little tighter on the back side. But it is smooth. The spring is smooth to the liners in the closed position there. Let's look at our termination. That looks pretty good. Maybe just a little bit of rounding on the spring. Not too terrible. Maybe not cut perfectly even either, but not horrible. Again, we're looking at a $20 knife, so I could pick it apart, with a little tiny details. Maybe a little bit of fill there. You can see just like some darker coloring. But not too bad. I mean, again, nice and tight. Got really good action on the blade. Has a half stop. And of course, we've got that spear point blade. 3 3/4 inch handle length, right? And the blade length is just a little, about 2 7/8, so definitely going to be UK legal here. There's a look at that logo design on the blade. See if we can get a little less glare on there. There we go. 30th anniversary, 1994 to 2024. And you again see the little cowboy guy there, the RR logo. But there's a better look at our swedging. It's not quite as profound. It's sort of like a lazy swedge, if you know what I mean. It's not like, it's just kind of rounded over. Doesn't really get any definition until once you get past there. So a little different. There again is our look at the blade. Doesn't look near as bad outside of the cavity, but you can see just the swedging's a little off. You can see how it's a little further to the right. So just not perfectly even across the length of the blade there. There's a look at your model number, RR2628, and of course the country of origin, China. We've got 440A razor sharp steel. And there's your Rough Rider logo. If we look at the spelling, I always like to see if it matches. And it does. It's the RI spelling. But pretty neat little tang stamp with the back-to-back R there. Again, really nice pull on this. Really good snap. I'd say that's about a 7. Right at 7. Locks up really well. Comfortable in the hand. Not going to be closing down on you. Got a nice firm snap. Very, very good snap. And feels very good in the hand. I like the swell here. It fills up the palm. Always like the teardrop shape when they're a little wider. I think they did a good job with the actual height of the swell here. Sometimes they can be a little thinner. And I've always liked the more rounded teardrops. The pointy ones, I don't know. They get a little too, I don't know, fancy looking for me. These look a little more manly, I guess you could say. So I kind of like the styling of this one for a teardrop pattern. Just reminds me more of a swell and jack, which I do really like, that particular type pattern. So this fits well into that kind of category. But let's kind of see if we can find something to cut. See how kind of blade sharpness we have here. Not too bad. Maybe needs a little bit of work right there at the choil. Wanted to start cutting when I got about right here. Otherwise, pretty good. Happy with that. Of course, the polished blades are going to pick up your fingerprints, so that's the thing. Get your rag out if you want to keep it clean all the time. But we've got smooth action. I'm really happy with the pull strength on it. I think for $20, it's very, very fair price for this knife. They haven't released just a ton of this particular pattern. I thought this one was easily the most attractive amongst the 30th anniversary series. Always like their checkered bone. They've always done a really good job with that. I have a couple other knives with the same pattern material and always been pleased with it. It does provide genuine grip, right? And it's a really pocketable size with a great utilitarian style blade. Not going to be the sharpest little point, but you can still pierce with that, you know, into cardboard or something soft. So no problem there. But I really like this knife. I think for $20, you're getting a hell of a value. Comes with a tin as well. You don't often see a $20 knife come in a tin. So you get a little extra sort of bonus with the packaging. And to me, this is a budget knife, but worth the price. 440A steel, but really quality handles, well constructed. Not seeing anything wrong with overall build, and fantastic snap, which is a great pull on there. And oftentimes you'll have a weaker pull on a cheaper knife. That's not the case here. A really great snappy action on it, and a knife that I think is very, very usable for a work knife. So that's going to do it for my review, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell to be made aware of videos when they drop. We will see you next time. Take care.